Hello and welcome to this video update on the US dollar and euro dollar. Looking at the monthly chart of the dollar index, we can see that the price action has advanced off what appears to be a significant low in 2008. This advance can be counted as an impulse and the following price action a correction. Price has held the starting point of the impulse, which leads to the opinion that this is either the first wave or the A wave of an ongoing correction. With a three-wave move in place, we are expecting price to either impulse in a C wave or even stronger in a wave 3. Until we break out of this corrective channel, for now our initial targets will be the 100%. So if we take our Fibonacci events, Fibonacci extensions, we can see that we are still only at the 1.618 extension of the first leg of this advance. Notice price has violated the traditional downtrend line, and our next trend line will be taken from the two highs created from the advance of the lows. So taking it down a few degrees and looking at the most recent low in 2011, we can see that price has advanced in what is counted as a choppy advance. I've gone through this and I've tried to put a more simple impulsive count to this, and it's just this third wave is just not given way to being able to count it as an impulse on its own. I've seen people count it as an impulse, but personally I think the best count on this at the moment is that it is a leading diagonal. I have no problems considering it as a bullish advance, but the leading diagonal is the best count. On the other side, we could be dealing with a series of ones and twos, and price could indeed be setting up to take off on a very powerful third wave, but we'll just take it one impulse at a time. So looking at the 5-wave advance we've been following now for the last while, it's more and more looking like that this impulse has got a lot more to go. And if so, we would expect any correction to be in 3 and to find support within the previous 4th wave. The line in the sand, of course, would be top of wave 1, but having price, I think, come below this level here at 62 and failing to find support at the prior highs would have me starting to question the count. But for now, the impulses are in 5 and the corrections are in 3. So the count we are looking at for this week now is that we have a 1, 2, this is a third wave, minute 3, and we're expecting minute 4 to maybe find support within this area, and price should advance then on the 5th wave. We would expect a larger correction then. So we can see that if this is the top of a third wave, we would expect price to locate its support around 38.2% retracement. Here we have the 4th wave just above that. Notice the alternate count we have is that this is actually the 5th wave, and that price could correct now on a larger correction in a minute wave 2. 4th wave here is tight with this wave 1, but it still does not overlap, so I'm happy that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we would expect the basing channels to hold. The lower trend line of the basing channel would have us consider the count, but for now we're expecting sideways to. Once again, we must remember, if we were considering this a third wave, price would be expected to extend, and price could indeed be in the process of starting extensions, as these waves are very close to each other, but they can be counted impulsively. So any breaks out of prior highs or any corrections that we can count as being completed, we will be considering as trading points to take on price to new highs. So an update on the euro dollar. We are counting an impulsive wave down as complete, and as of last week we are counting minor wave 2 as complete. There was the price action following what we're calling the completion of wave 2 is fitting nicely the third wave opinion. So here we have the zigzag we looked at last week, and the follow-up is the wave 1, 2, and we think that maybe minute wave 3 is in, and we are expecting the minute wave 4. The previous 4th wave here in around 129277 would be a good location for the 4th wave to find resistance and either turn down on the 5th wave or chop around this week in a more sideways price action. Like the US dollar, again, this third wave could be winding its way up to follow through in a further extension. The 1618 would be the minimum requirement for a third wave, and often we see the 2.618, and furthermore, like I said before, we'll see how price gets on at this critical support. So again, the count for euro dollar is expecting maybe some corrective advances in a fourth wave and pushing lower in a fifth wave. So the bias is still to the downside. Next we will update the Swiss franc and the British pound.